Today we're going to be going over 7 long-lasting fragrances that you can actually wear all year around and get a ton of use out of these. Quite often you'll find fragrances that have great performance but usually only cater to, a couple specific times of the year, whether it be for cooler months, fall, winter, or some sort of beast mode summer scent where you really wouldn't want to necessarily wear it any other time. That's not so much the case with these. I think that all of these have enough of a variety built into how they smell that they could work anytime. These could easily be a signature scent that you could lean on no matter what situation it is, no matter what the temperature is either. As always, a lot of us still really like our winter scents and our summer scents and really classify them for that time of the year, but not everybody really wants to abide by those rules or guidelines or whatever. So, if you just want to grab a couple things that work for whatever and just keep it super simple and still get great performance, I would check some of these out. We're going to get things kicked off with a nice affordable one here. This is Dumont Nitro Red Intensely. So I mentioned this one a while back in a few other videos when I was talking about the original Nitro Red, and I think about the new Nitro Elixir. And so I finally ended up getting my hands on this one, and I really, really enjoy it. Now, one of the things when I was talking about Nitro Elixir was I noticed that Elixir had a magnetic cap, and I was wondering if this one would, and as I kind of suspected, it does. So, somewhere along the way, they upgraded their bottle presentation a little bit, and you love to see it, This Intensely version's a little bit more money right now because it is newer. It's also an straight concentration versus EDP, but it's not an insane amount more. But it's still nice to see that they are making improvements in a world where a lot of the times we're used to designer brands and niche brands kind of going backwards, watering down their fragrances, reformulating them, tweaking the presentation in a way where it's not as good anymore, but that's not the case with this one. And I was really curious about this. I didn't know what they were going to do with it. What direction were they going to take? Were they going to basically keep the smell the same, that existing Nitro Red smell, and just increase the performance, make it stronger, and bump up that concentration? Or were they going to tweak the smell? And I find that they've pretty much kept the smell the same. I was really shocked to find that when I first sprayed this one on. I was like, you know what? That's Nitro Red, no doubt about it. It has peach, apple, melon, some sea salt, amber. The smell, the note breakdown, all very familiar here. The key difference is going to be that this one is just outrageously strong. And I got to give credit where credit's due. The original Nitro Red is also a great performer, no doubt about it. At an eau de parfum concentration, it had really good projection and equally great longevity. But this one, it definitely is stronger. Does everybody need a stronger version of Nitro Red? Probably not. So, this is going to be kind of up to the discretion of whoever's doing their shopping to decide if this is something that you need or not. And I think the way I would more so look at it is if you're going to buy Dumont Nitro Red, I would just go straight for the Intensely version. If you buy the Intensely first, there's really probably no need to go back and buy the eau de parfum unless you just do want something that's actually just a little bit lighter and maybe the tiniest bit fresher. But other than that, I would say most people will be perfectly happy with just having the Intense version. And if you already have the EDP, maybe that's plenty for you and you don't need this. So it all just depends on what you're after. These aren't horribly priced either, and I've got a code where you can save 10% off on all of these fragrances at Perfume Box, Chaos 10. So you can save a little bit of extra money picking these up, but still, maybe it's not necessary for everybody. Because I have this one and because I really like it and it has great performance, I chose it for this video, but you could put the original in here as well. I love this DNA. No matter which one you go for, I love how this smells. That nice fruity, fresh, summery smell, but it's sweet. And that sweetness will allow it to carry over into fall and winter time to where it would be able to hold up in those colder temperatures, no problem. And that's kind of the thought process behind selecting something like this for a video idea like this. Next one is Gucci Guilty Parfum version. Big fan of this one as well, and you don't hear about it a ton. And hey, this one is, at least compared to Guilty Elixir, somewhat reasonably priced. This one has orange blossom, juniper, lavender, and woody notes. Aromatic, woody, with a little bit of this kind of slight floral sweetness. There's some patchouli in here as well, although not overly prominent. So what I was saying about the price point was that, you know, this is a 90 ml bottle and it's usually just a touch under $100. Guilty Elixir is a 60 ml and it's over $100, so that kind of speaks for itself. And I bring that up for no reason other than price point because, you know, comparing smell, they're completely different, at least for the most part. Yeah, they both have orange blossom, but Guilty Elixir is actually much more floral than this, believe it or not. You would expect an Elixir to go in the opposite direction, but it doesn't. This one actually is a little bit heavier and a little bit sweeter at times than Guilty Elixir, at least to me. And I've been a big fan of this one ever since it first came out. It actually really surprised me. I was thinking that, you know, this is going to be in the same vein as Guilty Black, which is a great scent, but it's been out for a long time, doesn't really do a whole lot of exciting things anymore, and it's been worn a substantial amount of times by so many people, and it's kind of played out. But this one, again, it surprised me with how good and how interesting it is. It just has a unique texture to it that I wasn't expecting. As far as picking like the ultimate time of year for this, nothing really screams out at me. It's not what I would consider to be a summer scent. It's not green, so it's not really much of a spring scent for me either. And typically that's what I like in the springtime. It's not overly sweet, so it's not like a fall winter scent. It's just, it's the perfect balance of a little bit of everything. Fresh but sweet, a little bit aromatic, woody, all of that stuff, which kind of puts it in that middle category of really, you could wear this whenever you want. I think when you're spending $100 or so for this one, you know, it's nice to have that flexibility. You feel like you're actually getting your use out of it and getting your money's worth out of it instead of it sitting on your shelf collecting dust for 6 months out of the year or something like that with some of the more, you know, seasonably based scents where you only wear them in winter or something, for example. I like this, and for what it's worth from the Gucci Guilty lineup, it kind of provides something a little bit new and exciting to your collection. This next one is Eau de Parfum. Going a little bit more basic with a choice like this, I understand, but it kind of had to be in here for me. It's got apple, sage, lavender, geranium, amber wood. You guys know how this one goes. It's your blue fragrance that is just strong performing, mass pleasing, incredibly versatile. Works for anything. You know, typically I do wear this one more in summertime. Even though it is sweet with that apple note and stuff, I've always gravitated towards this one when it's warm out. However, some people would feel as though it's too sweet for summer and they might opt to wear it in spring or fall or winter. And that's the beauty. You could wear this whenever you want. It has the performance to hold up for the cold weather, and that's kind of the main thing that will limit fresher fragrances, or, you know, summer scents, I guess I should say, is that lack of performance really kind of kills them when it gets cold outside. And so that's not the case here with this at all. It still has the power to project and push through that cold weather. Not everybody lives where it's cold, I understand, but if you're someone like me who lives where it gets well below freezing into the single digits sometimes, you need something that's strong enough to push through, and this one will. This next one is Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir. It's the Parfum version, which is my favorite within the Bleu Noir lineup by far. I really like the Eau de Toilette Intense, and I like the original too as well, you know, but I do prefer this Parfum. This one has iris, suede, tonka bean, musk, and of course, woody notes. That's really what this line is built on. Musk and woods, that's it. So it still carries over into here, but the main difference is that tonka bean iris combo, which gives it a bit of a twist. Now you're seeing iris and tonka bean and stuff, and you're thinking this can't be worn all year round. It sounds too sweet. It's really not. It's not. Basically what they're doing here is they're taking the woods and the musk, like I mentioned, and they're throwing in, you know, a little bit of a fresher iris. It's not an overly sweet, powdery iris like Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, that sort of thing. It's a fresher iris, and that's what I like about it. You know, it's not quite as fresh as like a Prada L'Homme iris or anything like that, but still, it's not as extreme as some of the others. And that balance makes it work perfectly for pretty much any time of the year. You know, you might want to choose something else for those really, really hot 95-degree days, but other than that, you could really pull this one off in a variety of situations and temperatures as well. I don't remember what this one's going for right now, maybe $60 or so. somewhere around in there. I haven't looked here recently, but it's always been, or at least for a while, it has been on the more affordable end of things as far as designers go. It's not a cheapie, but it's not $90, $100 like a lot of things are these days. I think it adds a lot of value for a reasonable price. Go for a classic that just works. I mean, it just really does. You can't mess this stuff up. It's Light Blue Eau Intense. I mean, it's known as a summer scent, right? Everybody would agree this is a summer, aquatic, salty, marine type of scent, right? Light Blue by Dolce & Gabbana, it is summer. However, no reason you couldn't wear this one in fall and winter time. This one also has the performance to hold up to those temperatures, and while it doesn't convey the atmosphere of winter, right? It has nothing to do with, you know, a snowy day and being cold outside. It doesn't smell like that. You still could pull it off. And it's nice to be able to sometimes bring that feeling of summer into wintertime when it's, you know, January, February, just really cold. All of the holidays are over. Everything is just dead looking outside. And you kind of want to feel that freshness again. And you want just a little hit of summer. You could throw on Light Blue Eau Intense and it kind of brings you right back to the beach. You know, that's what's nice about something like this. And at this point, these are pretty affordable, have been for a while. I think you can get testers right now for 55 bucks, 100 ml testers with cap. Going rate after that is usually around 70 to 75. So not cheap, but again, at this point in time, man, with everything being so expensive, it's just times are changing and that's not really too bad anymore. This next one is Tumi 19 Degree. Now this one comes in at like $140 retail, but here lately you've been able to get it for around like 70 or so, 70-ish on discounters, which is, I mean, well, it's huge savings. And I bought this at full retail because it wasn't out yet on discounters when I bought it. It was new, but I was intrigued by it because the raspberry and the leather. I love both of those notes, and I wasn't expecting Tom Ford Tuscan leather, which is good because it does not smell anything like Tom Ford Tuscan leather. But when you see those notes together, at least for me, it makes me think of that scent. So that's not the case here. It's nowhere near as animalic and leathery in that type of way like Tuscan leather. This is fresher, and some people compare it a little bit to Creed Aventus, which I think would be a bit of a reach to say that it's a Creed Aventus clone. That's a bit far. I'm not, you know, getting on board with that. But can it remind you of it a little bit, like a much more woody, sweet, fruity version of Aventus? You know, no pineapple but raspberry instead? Maybe, but still not a lot. I mean, the more you smell it, the less you really agree with that. But I digress. This one, again, it kind of is more or less doing its own thing, maybe borrowing some ideas from some other popular designer and niche releases, of course, with their own twist, which you can't complain. If anything, it might remind you a little bit of the new Azzaro Forever Wanted Elixir, which also uses a raspberry leather. Raspberry leather is what I think I was getting at there. Uses that combination, but the Azzaro is much, much sweeter even still. So this one, again, is kind of just providing its own little twist on a very mass-pleasing background. It's an extrait. It's very strong. And again, if I had to choose a time of the year, it's almost a little bit too heavy for summer sometimes, you know, to be a full-on summer scent. Not quite sweet enough to be a dedicated winter scent. I just kind of, it's like whenever I feel like wearing it, I throw it on no matter what the weather is. And last up for this video, we have Acqua di Gio Parfum. Needs no explanation. It's always been a summer scent for me, Profumo, you know, but I've worn it year around for years. I mean, this has been a signature scent of mine, Profumo, for a very long time now, the Parfum. And so, yeah, this could easily be spring, summer, fall, winter, formal, casual, whatever. You can wear Acqua di Gio Parfum. That's going to do it for me, guys. I've got some codes down in the description if you want to save some money. There's some Joma Shop codes that you can use within the app. If you're shopping over at Perfume Box, you can use code CHAOS10 for 10% off. Vinba Fragrance has some amazing prices on niche. You can use code CHAOS5 for 5% off orders over $500. It's a lot of money, but their prices are already so low that that's the best code that they could give me. Let me know down below what are some long-lasting fragrances that you can wear all year round and that you would choose for a video like this, and these will be linked in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.